Hey, so I'm sharing my guest design team project that I've been working on for Diana, who is SpareMarbles2012 here on YouTube. And I'm going to post the links down below to her ArtFire store because I used her mixed media collection this month for the projects I'm doing. And this first one is my art tile. These are all the art tiles that I did using her inchies and domino sheet. And I used just about all the inchies on the one sheet that I had printed out. And I love how these turned out. If you keep watching, you'll see a process video, somewhat of a process video, kind of like all my videos. I just kind of touch on it. And you can fast forward through this part later on where I'm blowing through a straw for like 3 minutes. But if you're interested anyway in pretty much how this came together, just keep watching. But I really love the way these art tiles came out. There's a lot of stuff going on with each of these. So I started with my tile piece, and then Diana's inchies paper is on every one of these. And then I did a little bit more with, of course, pouring the resin on top, and then further decorating it with distress paints, embossing powders. Oh, and before I did the resin pour, I did do quite a bit of stamping on here too, as you can see. So there's like quite a bit of stamping. Then I poured the resin, and then while the resin was still gooey, I did put some little embellishments, embed those inside the tile piece, so that before it cured, it had those pieces stuck in there, so it acted like an adhesive. And then further embellished it, like I said, with some embossing powders, distress paints. Really love the way these turned out. I think they're so pretty. Of course, Diana's papers made it a very easy job because she did all the work for us. So it was just a matter of embellishing it. Okay, and then here are my 2 domino books that I did. I really like the way these turned out too. So this is my Steampunk Apothecary book and my little witches domino book. And this is the way I decided to do the closure on these. I used a grunge board hitch from Tim Holtz, hinge, and a hitch fastener for the part that locks on here. I didn't do anything to the back. Again, I didn't want to cover up those really pretty papers that showed all that texture, so I'd already done that here. So my inspiration for both of these are from Laura Carson, who's Artfully Musing, and I absolutely adore her work. So that was kind of the inspiration I drew from on this. She does wonderful domino work. So there's that, and it just opens up. If I can get it off. Like so. Uh-oh. Gotta do the other side. Yeah, like so. And then here's all my little witch cutouts on top of Diana's paper that kind of stamped and embossed on. There's the back side with her papers. Or paper, I should say. Love this sheet. If you keep watching, you'll see which one I use there. And then the Steampunk Apothecary, the same thing. I used some Inca Gold to kind of hematite color to go over that tree with. Kind of wanted to darken it up because it was dark brown, but I kind of wanted to make a little black look to it, blacker look. There's the back. Oh my gosh, I just love that. Love that so much. And again, I just used bead caps for my feet so that these books will stand up so that I can display them really nicely. And again, just pop it open like so. Got to do both sides. Pop it open. And there you go. There's the back side of this paper that I further texturized with embossing powders. I just love this paper. Just beautiful paper. Alright, so if you're interested in seeing how these came together, like I said, just keep watching and you'll see how they came about. I wish I could do fast forward process because my videos would be so much better if I could, but yeah, unable to do that right now. So keep watching, and I'm going to post the link down below to Diana's store, her ArtFire store, and also to the other designers who are doing some wonderful projects this month using these same papers. So you'll draw a lot of inspiration from watching some of those videos, and I hope you go check out Diana's store for these mixed media papers and her other papers she has as well. All right, I'll see you guys later. Hi, so I'm here with a guest design team project for SpareMarbles2012 here on YouTube, and I am using her mixed media collection to do some projects. And the first thing that I'm doing is I am making some, yes, I'm back to doing some altered dominoes with resin, and I'm also going to use these inchies on, I had a bunch of these chipboard pieces. I have no idea where I got these. So I have like these chipboard squares, and they're perfect for the backgrounds here. So, you know, you could just cut little chipboard squares yourself. But I thought it'd be a really good embellishment to use. So I am going to use the inchies on this. So instead of using them like on a clay tile background, whatever. So, and then I have like these little bits and bobs out. These are Halloween themed right here. I saw a really interesting domino book on Pinterest using, if I can find it now, where are they? Using these little feet right here as the foot of the domino book. Thought it was really cool. So anyway, so I am gonna borrow that idea for one of my books, and I'm using these beautiful backgrounds because they really are perfect for this kind of a project. So alright, so what I'm going to do right now is I am going to paint all my tile pieces here with just the edges. I'm going to paint with white distress paint and or gesso. Actually, that is what I'm going to use. I'm going to use gesso just to go around the edges so that the raw chipboard doesn't show. I'm going to cut these pieces out and adhere them with ColoXplosion. Wait for all that to dry, and then I'm going to start doing whatever stamping that I'm going to do to this. However I decide to decorate this, and then I'm going to come in with the resin. So I'll be back. Okay, so I have everything cut up, and what I did is, and painted too. So here's, I did some that I painted around in white gesso. I didn't focus too much on the backs, but I did do the backs as well because I don't know if I'm going to do double-sided. Some of these I'm going to do single-sided, and some I'm going to do double-sided just in case I want to do like a dangle pendant or something like that. So I'll be punching a hole in it. But then I also did do some of these in black gesso. So that's what that looks like. And then I took Vintage Photo and Black Soot Distress Pen inks, and I did edge all my little inchies here with that, just so you don't see the white edge of the paper when I get this adhered down. Because what I'm going to do is just, you know, figure out which ones I want to go on white, which ones I want to go on black background, and adhere this all down with ColoXplosion, let it dry, and then I'm going to do another coat of ColoXplosion because I find my resin goes on best when I do that. So then what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to figure out what I want to do on each of these images. So I have some inchy stamps out, or some really small stamps. You know, like I figure I'll do like a paisley, not the whole image, but just a little bit coming off of the sides. And like here's a Season's Greetings one. I thought I would use that on some of these blue ones. And then I have like this big container that I got from my Craigslist sale. Or buy, I should say. And there's 2 things here full of snowflakes. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is use that little Season's Greeting, so I'll be ready for when Christmas rolls around. And then stamp that on here. Then put the ColoXplosion on. Then after everything's dry and I'm ready to put my resin on, once the resin is poured, what I'll do is I'll take these little, you know, bits and bobs I've got over here and embed it into the wet resin so that when it sets up and hardens overnight, it'll be stuck in there and I won't have to do anything further to it. And I'm going to have stuff go off the tile as well, so... Okay, so that's where I'm at right now, and I'll either be back to explain a little bit more of what I'm doing, or it'll just be the reveal at the beginning of the video. Okay, so for my domino books, I just took a combination of, okay, for my witch domino book, which is this one. There's the colors I'm using around the outside edge of my book, because the images are going to be covering these up, but the colors for that are pitch black, this is the silver, metallic silver, and then this purple twilight. So those are the colors I used for my witch book to get those, just the edging done. And then for my steampunk apothecary book, it's going to look like this. And then here's all the colors right here. And that was a combination of meadow, ginger, and the metallic gold. So I just, you know, squeezed all 3 of those colors onto the pad's missing right now because I just threw it away, but the alcohol ink blender tool, and just kind of went over the whole thing just to get that mottled appearance that I like. Okay, then what I decided for my steampunk apothecary book, and I'm kind of following Laura Carson, her her blog that she has, where she does a lot of domino books. So I am kind of sort of following that, but not really. So doing my own thing, but I did like the idea of that. So what I'm using is this beautiful background page from Dye's Mixed Media Papers. And what I'm going to do is, this is going to be the back part of my book, because I'm going to be accordion folding this. So this is going to be the back pattern part. I've got to pick out a strip, 2-inch strip here, for what I want to have be the back pattern paper. And then what I'm going to do to the front is use these images that I've cut. It's a digital download, Domino, apothecary, steampunk apothecary, something like that. But anyway, just these domino images that I got as a digital download from Etsy. So, okay, so that's where I'm at with that. And then for my witch book, what I'm going to do, trying to keep all this together because I'm in the middle of working on this, so I don't want to get all my stuff messed up. Okay, so for my witch one, this is the background paper that I'm going to use. So I'm going to cut a 2-inch strip. And I also double-sided this one because the back side I want just to be this paper. And then on the other side, what I'm going to do is cut out my little witch images here. Again, this is another just Etsy Domino witch digital graphic collage, whatever, that I got from Etsy. And I am going to cut these images out and then do some decorating to my pages underneath. That's sitting on top of this image right here. So, okay, so that's where I'm at right now with my books. So, I'll be back. Okay, so I'm getting ready to pour my resin now, and I thought I would just come back because somebody had asked me about how I pour it on these kind of surfaces before when I was doing my other dominoes and tiles. So I have equal parts of the hardener and the resin of my little resin kit, and there are a lot of bubbles in it, so I made sure to get a cut up straw too, because I'm going to blow those out. So I'm going to just do this, you know, show you a couple here, and then I'm going to cut off the camera because I have to work really quickly with this because it hardens up pretty quickly. Once it's mixed, I'm working on a craft mat because I don't want anything to stick. And what I do, make sure I have a paper towel sitting out here. Oh, and on this, I did take, because I want this to look like an apothecary window, I did take a Prima resin and I sprayed it with some Color Bloom sprays. Crap on a cracker. Ah, Butterfingers. Hello. I have no grace at all, by the way. I'm a very clumsy crafter, and clumsy in life, actually. So, but anyway, so I did the backside because I knew that was going to show. Of course, now I think I'm going to have to do a touch-up where I just dropped it. And then I adhered it with glossy accents just to get it stuck down, because I wanted to stick it down first and then put my resin in, because that resin, once it's in here, that will further make it adhere. So anyway, so that's what I did on this. And the rest I'm going to be sticking some stuff in. So, you know, different bits that I'm going to put into the resin before it forms up, because I'm just using the resin as an adhesive. So, okay. So I guess I'll just start with this right here. So I'm going to pour this in, and under normal circumstances, I would use this to spread it, but I kind of have a little enclosure, so I don't really need to do that. And you just kind of play it by ear to figure out if you need more resin. So I'm just kind of moving it around right now, and I think I'm good, so I'm going to keep it like that. Now, there are a lot of bubbles in there, so I'm going to take my straw and I'm going to blow through it. And you can't see, but what's happening is those bubbles are getting blown out. The heat from your breath will knock those right out. So I'm just doing it off camera because I don't want to sit there like I was doing it. I was on my tiptoes. I'm a shorty. Sorry. This is taking longer than I thought. But I want to be sure and get all these bubbles out. Just fast forward. Go grab some popcorn. Okay. I think I have all those now. I think I got them all out, so that's what that looks like right now. All right. Okay, but just get that out of the way. But now, if you're doing it on a domino that doesn't have that kind, then what you want to do is the exact same thing. Just pour just the amount that you think you're going to need to cover that domino. And then you take a little popsicle stick and just kind of spread it around until you get the coverage all over. And sorry, I'm having to do this off frame because I can't see. In addition to being a klutz, I'm also blind as a bat. I'm just a mess. Okay, And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my straw and I'm just going to blow those air bubbles out. It's cool to see them pop. That's how you know it's working. Okay. Alright, so there's that one. So there's the back side. I thought I was maybe going to stick something in the back. You know, like this Book of Spells little thing right here. I thought maybe I would plop that down in there, but yeah, I don't know. I've got a couple of minutes to think about that. Okay, and then on these little squares, let me grab one that actually looks interesting. It's the exact same thing. You're not going to want to use very much on these little inchies at all. Like, that's way too much. I popped way too much in there. But anyway, just do the exact same thing. Just spread it around, get it from corner to corner. Like so. Just get it all over. I just think resin looks much nicer than the glossy accents, because I did that in the beginning when I first started doing this, but I really like the look of the resin. It's much shinier, and I really like the look. Okay, so there we go with that. So that's all you do. You just, you know, just spread it around like so. Get it to from corner to corner. Make sure every edge has got resin on it. And blow out your bubbles. And then wait for all this to cure. Alright, so I'll be back. Okay, so I cut this strip from Diane's paper right here. And I took it to my scoreboard. And I did a score line on every 7/8 of an inch, because that's how wide my dominoes are. And then I took it by the length too. That's how I cut this strip. So it's going to fit, you know, right inside. Well, here, let me just get it. So every 7/8 of an inch, I scored it. So it folds up really well. So then this is going to get glued here. And then that front will get glued. So see how it fits in there? Like so. It's all in there, all in there. And I still have to figure out my closure, because I don't really know what I'm going to do on a closure yet. I'm probably just going to wind up taking ribbon and having ribbon closures for each side, but like I said, I haven't got that far yet. I'm not going to adhere this down. I just wanted to kind of get you caught up with where I'm at right now. But this is how my resin hardened up. I absolutely love it. Look how beautiful that paper looks underneath that resin. It's just gorgeous. Okay, so now to further give this a little bit more texture, what I decided to do is I'm going to take just a script stamp. And this is my witch book. So I've got all my little cutouts of my little witches that's going to go on each individual panel here in my book. But I thought just to have some extra texture to it, that what I would do is take this script stamp and an embossing ink. And I am going to emboss in the background with this gold or whatever, dark antique gold, copper. I don't know, not copper, it's gold, antique gold. Hello, hit the record button, so now I sound like a durr. Okay, antique gold embossing powder, and I don't know if I'm going to do the entire thing or if I'm just going to pick random spots. The problem is that I don't know where a lot of these are going to be placed. So I'm thinking I'm just going to do, like, you know, just kind of randomly. Then it just, wherever it shows, it shows. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. This is going to be the back side of my paper for my Steampunk Apothecary book. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take embossing ink, but I'm going to use, and I can't find it right now, but the dabber. And I'm just going to flick spots on here and emboss that way. So it won't look neat. I want it to look kind of messy. So, and I already cut all my images out, which is why I didn't do double-sided on this paper, because I didn't want to waste the ink. I knew these images were going to cover up every bit of the panel on this side. So that's going to be the back side, and that'll be the front. But again, I just want to further texturize this by doing some kind of embossing or something. Okay, and that's it for right now. I may or may not be back.